Thokozani bakwantu, Hotep Royals, Gogo Nkanyezi here. Hope everybody is doing well today. I had a thought that I would come on and share with you a few tips, about 10 tips that may give you a clue as to why you are not growing spiritually or somehow your spiritual growth is slowed down. Now, before I get in, please do like, subscribe, comment, share. We're trying to grow our family. We're also trying to make sure that we get as much knowledge out to Bagwantu, our big family, so that we can become the people that we were meant to become. So let me get right into it because there's quite a lot of points to get through and I need to elaborate on each of those points. So number one, why are you not growing spiritually? One thing is many people are not listening to their inner voice. What is your inner voice is what we call your intuition. Your intuition is that part of you, your higher self, speaking to you. And many people ignore that to their own detriment. Your inner voice is your soul. And your soul, as we know, is connected to the universe. Your soul is connected to that ethereal plane where your ancestors reside. Therefore, a lot of the times you're saying your ancestors aren't speaking to you, or you're saying the cosmos is not speaking to you, is because, yes, they are speaking to you, but you are not attuned. You are not listening to your intuition. This is a serious problem for a lot of spiritual people, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that you're allowing too much noise into your life. You are not going inward, i.e., introspection. Introspection becomes important. That is the one way in which you can assist yourself to listen and learn to identify and become familiar with your inner voice. So, not listening to your inner voice is a definite boo-boo for you. If you don't know your inner voice, it means you're not spending enough time going inward. You're not spending enough time alone. It means you are external. It means you are in your mind or in your brain the whole time. Or worse still, you're busy listening to what other people have to say. Your intuition and your inner voice can never, ever lead you wrong. Remember, this is your soul. This is your soul talking to you. And when your soul is speaking to you, it is doing so because it is in harmony with the cosmos and in harmony with the rest of the universe. Very, very important point which a lot of people are missing out on. The other thing too is when you don't listen to your inner voice, you miss out on messages for the collective. You miss out on tapping into what we call the what we might call the ocean of spirit, if you like, or the collective consciousness. Right? So it's very important that you learn to listen to your inner voice, because really when you don't do that, you literally are taking 10 step backs, right? 10 steps back in your journey because you're not listening to your intuition. Number two, you are in your thoughts the whole time. And the question then becomes, if you're in your thoughts, what thoughts are you focusing on? If you focus on negative thoughts, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again, that is what is going to become your reality. Thoughts become things, to put it very simply. So if you're somebody who focuses on negativity and negative thoughts the whole time, instead of redirecting your thought patterns, you're going to get yourself into a lot of trouble. And this will slow down your spiritual growth. The thing about spiritual growth in these current times we're in is you really need to tap into source, source being that collective consciousness. And you only do so by making sure that the thoughts that are passing through your mind, if they are useless, if they are frivolous, if they are negative, you do not focus on them. You can't always control what you think, but you can control whether or not you focus on your thoughts. This requires a lot of discipline, and over time you learn to redirect your thoughts very quickly. Because once you focus on those thoughts, they start affecting your emotions. Once your emotions start reflecting what you're thinking, you're manifesting, right? People think manifestation is all about good things. Manifestation simply means bringing something from the ethereal plane into the physical. So if your emotions are calling in negativity, that is what you will manifest. And in this time we're in, we are doing a lot of higher work spiritually. And I want to assist you guys so that you are manifesting the things that you want to see as reality in your life. Togozan. The third thing is living in a state of fear. I keep saying it and I'm going to keep saying it because I sense it through collective consciousness. There is a lot of fear around. Fear is an illusion, Bagwantu. Fear is an illusion, and fear is an illusion that causes you to become paralyzed. Fear can paralyze you and cause you to be inactive where you're supposed to be active. Fear will cause you to be reactive where you're supposed to be active. So fear makes you do things that are not sensible and in alignment with your own growth. Some people have so much fear that it starts to induce a state of anxiety. A state of anxiety will shut down your creativity, will shut down anything good that is supposed to come, because fear and anxiety are low vibrational emotions. All right? Number 4 is holding on to materialism. We need to talk about this one, Bagwantu. We need to talk about this because it's so important. Many of us are stuck in materialism because we're operating from a place of lack. Many of us are stuck in materialism because, believe it or not, even your religions out there have you stuck in this realm, in this 3D realm, where all you're thinking about most of the time is lack. There is never enough. There is not enough. Once you do that, you are dissociated from the spiritual realm. The material realm is also an illusion. Nothing in this material realm is actually real, Bagwandu. What is real is the spirit that lives in you and how it connects with the cosmos and the collective consciousness. If you don't get that, then I don't know what you're doing thinking you want to embark on a spiritual journey. And in this case, I'm not talking about people who need to initiate. That's a whole nother story. I'm talking about just the fact that you are a spirit being having a human experience. You need to get that right. If you exist or live as a human being having a spiritual experience, you've got it twisted. So you have to invest and focus on your spirit, your soul, because in doing so, that is how you align with your soul's purpose. And that is how you live in harmony with the cosmos and that universal flow of energy. There is a universal flow of energy which you need to tap into in order to be spiritual, in order to experience what it is to be a spirit having a human experience, right? The other thing is ignoring the call to evolve. This is number 5. Number 5 is ignoring the call to evolve. Many people are resisting the current energetic flow. The current energetic flow which says Ma'at is here. We are here for truth, for justice, for righteousness, and for purity. What do we mean by purity? What does it mean to be a pure person? A pure person is a person whose intentions are always for the highest good of themselves, their family, their community, and the collective of Bagwantu. If you are somebody who is working against Bagwantu in any way, shape, or form, if you are somebody who has the crabs in a barrel mentality, where when you see Bagwantu evolving and growing, or a person evolving and growing, your immediate instinct is to pull them down, is to criticize, is to poke holes in them. You are not pure. Ma'at demands purity in this age and time that we're in. And so if you're not operating from Ma'at within you, you are not pure. And that will definitely hinder your spiritual growth. When you are not pure, you are jealous. When you are not pure, you're envious. When you are not pure, you live for external validation, and therefore you see other people's existence as a threat to your external validation. When you are spiritual, you are always going inward. You're always looking at yourself. And this is not being individualistic. It is simply to make sure that you are living from Ma'at within so that you can tap into that collective consciousness and raise the vibrational frequency of the collective. Remember the saying in isiZulu, umuntu ngumuntu ngabantu, meaning that with everything that you do for yourself, with yourself, you're actually doing it and affecting the collective, whether you like it or not, whether you recognize or realize it or not. This is very important. So your growth, how you do spiritually, will affect everybody else. And many of you are slowing the collective down because you are stuck in the refusal to evolve. Evolution means being open to discarding old information that no longer serves you and embracing new information that will serve you and the collective and the highest good. Many of you know that in a lot of religions work against our spirituality, which is nature itself, because we have been taught to externalize God, where we know that we are creator itself, herself, himself. Does that make sense? Okay. The seventh one is dismissing synchronicities. What does that mean? What is a synchronicity? A synchronicity is an occurrence that seems to be like a coincidence, right? Say, for example, I'm talking to you and we say the exact same thing at the exact same time. That is synchronicity. What is it showing us? It's showing us that you and I are tapped into the universal consciousness because we are tapped into the same frequency that gave us that exact same download at the exact same time. A lot of people are ignoring these synchronicities as coincidences. In spirituality, there is no such thing as a coincidence as soon as you look deeper. You start to see that this isn't a coincidence, this is synchronicity. How does it happen that somebody who's sitting halfway across the world from you suddenly thinks of you? You pick up your phone and you call this person and they say, guess what? Do you notice my WhatsApp is open? Because I was just about to message you. That is synchronicity, meaning that you are tapped into the universal flow of energy, into that collective consciousness where you can tap into the same information. So this person put a thought out into the cosmos and you picked up on it. And you're thinking, oh, I miss so-and-so, let me call them. Meanwhile, that person actually called you. This is called telepathy. That is the extension of synchronicity in that context. So, in other words, do not ignore these synchronicities, Bakwantu, because our innate powers and abilities are coming back and they're coming in strong. Many of you will start to experience a lot more things than you've ever experienced simply because why? Our powers are being regenerated and rebirthed within us. The same things our ancient ancestors were able to do before colonization, those abilities are coming back. So just to make you laugh, while everybody is busy with how to create the next best cell phone, the telephone, and calling it advancement and calling it civilization, we're going back to nature where we don't need a device to communicate with one another. We can literally send each other messages through collective consciousness. That is synchronicity. Don't ignore those. Very important. The third one, or not third, actually, we're number 7, right? Number 7 is forgetting the power of now. What does that mean? Now meaning NOW. Forgetting the power of now. Many of us are living in the past or we're living in the future. We understand that we have to go back to the past to retrieve that which we will use in the present in order to create the future. That is the principle of Sankofa. But what it doesn't mean that you are living in nostalgia. Oh my gosh, in the good old days. In the good old days, back then when I was young, it didn't used to be like this. We're not living like that. A Sankofa is a totally different way of being. A Sankofa means you're going into the past, the far past, to retrieve information that you will use now so that you can create a better future. Creating a better future is literally manifestation, right? You have a vision for what the future looks like, not just for yourself, but for the collective, right? So it is very important to live in the present. Remember that in the spiritual realm, time doesn't exist. In the spiritual realm, the past and the future all collapse into the present. And so, as a spirit here and now, having this human experience what you're experiencing. Don't escape into the future and don't escape into the past. Live it here and now. Togozan. Number 9 is failing to see challenges as opportunities for growth. When you get stuck in your woes and your troubles and you fail to see those challenges as opportunities for growth and advancement, you curtail your spiritual growth. Many of us have forgotten that we signed a contract to come here way before we were born, at this time, in this incarnation, looking the way we look now, with the people that are around us now that we encounter, to experience ourselves as spirit having a human experience. We forget that. And so the problem is when you have forgotten that, you have a tendency to see the challenges in your life as curses or the challenges in your life as setbacks, and you wallow in self-pity about it. A lot of my spiritual kids know that self-pity has no space in our work, because I understand very fully that everything you go through, no matter how awful it is meant to progress you. Even those things that look like they are designed to unalive you, they are not designed to unalive you. They are not designed to break you. They are designed to grow you. So even if you are in a challenging space, whatever challenges you're facing, if you don't shift perspective to see these things as opportunities for growth, this is where depression sets in, the self-pity sets in. What do those emotions do? Those are low vibrational emotions that lower your frequency, and therefore you manifest more of the same. Why are you manifesting more of the same? Because any lesson that you don't learn when it comes along will keep coming back. You put yourself on a vicious feedback loop where, because you're not learning a lesson, you are going to have that same experience over and over and over again. And of course, you're going to think you are cursed. I'm not saying there are no curses, but I'm saying that a lot of the time you are cursing yourself. And the final one is neglecting self-care and inner work. A lot of you will go on the YouTube, will come on the TikTok. I see many of you are here now. You will listen to all these wonderful things we say. But how many of you, if you're honest, are going to put any of this into practice? How many of you will do the introspection that you need to do in order to develop your intuition? How many of you will actually sit for 15 minutes daily and meditate so that you are listening to yourself and listening to the conversations that you are having with yourself, which is your thoughts? Your thoughts are conversations that you are having with yourself. And you're the one person who speaks to yourself more than you speak to anyone else out there. It becomes very important that you start practicing those things that we are teaching. Otherwise, this is all an exercise in futility, right? When we talk about self-care, what does that look like? I'm not talking about the next hairstyle. I'm not talking about the latest makeup. Neither am I talking about the cutest clothes. No. Those are external material things. There's nothing wrong with them. But more importantly, when I talk about self-care, I'm looking at things like, what are you eating? What are you eating? As a nine ether being, what are you consuming on a daily basis? Are you consuming foods that nurture and nourish your body? Because remember, your body is what houses your soul. So if your body has aches and pains, if your body is in a state of dis-ease, spiritually you're going to be affected. Because your spirit, your soul uses your body in order to achieve the things that it needs to achieve. Your soul uses your body in order to experience itself here in this realm. So if your body is not well, then your spiritual growth, your spiritual expansion is curtailed. And on a collective, you're dragging us down. Dragging us down. Eat right. Drink water. Drink alive water. Drink mineralized water. Because we already understand that as nine ether beings, we are electric. So you have to make sure that the foods you consume, the water you consume, help to balance you out as an electric being. So if you're drinking water from a plastic bottle, that water will just make you feel bloated and you'll just go to the bathroom a lot, but you're not actually hydrating. We're talking about hydration at the cellular level so that your cells are able to perform and function optimally. You need to drink mineralized water. Some people call it alkaline water. The minerals that we need are quite a few. I'll name some. You need to have some iron. You need copper, right? You need magnesium, right? You need sodium, right? You can get that in sodium chloride in the foods you eat. Good thing when it comes to diet, we're over here in the northern hemisphere. Man, it's watermelon season. I kid you not, as I'm talking right here, I have a bowl of watermelon sitting there because I chew through that stuff. Like I eat watermelon like crazy. Why? Because that is living water that hydrates me at the cellular level. So cucumbers, watermelon, eat a lot of greens. We need greens because the chlorophyll in there has the same structure except for one atom as your blood, hemoglobin. So chlorophyll is the equivalent of hemoglobin. So when you consume foods high in chlorophyll, you're giving your body life, right? Exercise. How many people are actually exercising? And exercising does not have to be this Western way of exercising where you're going jogging and you're doing all this. Then I can't do that, guys. I used to be a runner at some point in my life, but I can no longer do that. So what do? I put on music that lifts my soul and I dance. That is a form of exercise. Go for long walks by the river. Go for a hike up a mountain because you're serving two purposes. You're exercising your body and strengthening your muscles and your ligaments, but you're also communing with nature at the same time. So you can do this kind of spiritual work to assist you, and it's in the form of self-care. So I hope... mental health, by the way, is another one. You really need to take care of your mental health. And this is where you need to ask yourself what you are consuming. This is an important part of self care. What information or content are you consuming? Are you consuming content that leaves you feeling low, that leaves you feeling anxious? I've told a lot of people stop watching the news. Most of that stuff is propaganda anyway, right? Feed your mind content that allows you to grow. Don't feed your mind things that leave you feeling scared, that leave you feeling anxious, fatigued, and low vibrational. Which brings me to the second point, quality sleep. A lot of the times, many of us are not getting quality sleep because of the content that we are consuming. And then you have all sorts of weird dreams, and then now you're thinking that somebody is attacking you spiritually while you're sleeping. Meanwhile, no, it's because you just binge watched some horror movie series somewhere on Netflix. As a spiritual person, discipline is going to be very important. You're going to need to be disciplined if you're serious about your spiritual walk. So, on a final note, Bagwantu, nobody can do this for us, nobody can do this for you. But by the same token, people like me will come and talk about this and give you these tips because I know full well that we need us to grow together. We need each individual adding to that collective consciousness so we can raise our universal vibrational frequency. So, on that note, I hope you found this useful. Please share, like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, see you on the next upload. Togozane.